Okay, let's continue.
さらばだ。金曜サボった分真面目に勉学に励むがいい。
Enrico cheerfully leaves the classroom. He must be going to hide in the infirmary or something. It seems like today it is a turn to skip class. The minute the bell rings for lunch, the degenerate reappears, yawning out the fault he's only just woke up.
よく寝た。殿、飯食おうぜ、飯。
What a guy. I got a hunch the only three things bouncing around in that column are sleep, food and sex.
そりゃ飯は当然のように食べるけど、いいのか俺なんかに構って。ランチは先輩と一生がお前のマイブームじゃなかったっけ？
あ？先輩とランチだ。
Enrico frowns, his expression souring. Looks like Senpai gave him the cold shoulder again today. I go and get lunch with Enrico. Having slept his fill in the infirmary,
宗谷駅前で検索と。何の進展会もねえな。
it's now hard at work hunting for information, mobile phone in hand. It's like they say, trailing behind society even for hours can prove fatal. It could also just be a case of an internet addiction, but it's Enrico we are talking about. He's a different breed from the other students. Keeping up to date with what happened at Soya Station isn't just Enrico amusing himself with other people's affair. He's earnestly checking for anything that will give him an edge when it comes to surviving the nighttime world of the business district. What is he, a gangster?
また定番のコンビニレジ強盗ですか。店員刃物で腹部を刺され重傷、犯人はアルコール依存症。うへえ、言ったそう。酔っ払いに話通じねえもんな。やっぱ買い物は通販に限りますな。
Enrico demolishes his meal, browsing his phone with his other hand all the while. The tradition of a father reading the newspaper during mealtime has completely transformed me into its modern-day equivalent right in front of me. Anyway, leaving the modern-day critique aside,
アリヒコ、食事時にその手のニュース読み上げるの楽しいか？
楽しくねえですよ。けど世間に興味を持たない間抜けな友人のために世の中の物騒さを知らしめなきゃならんでしょ。聞いてますか、遠野くん。北口は倒壊するわ、酔っ払いは人を刺すわ、無差別に人を殺す通り魔はいるわ。他人事じゃねえかもなんだぜ。
それは確かに。でも通り魔事件はもう起きないんだ。北口の事故はどうしようもないけど、それ以外はいつも通りってことだろ。
そうなの？通り魔って捕まったんだ。
いや、 捕まってはいないだろうけど。
The culprit is no longer of this world. That's why there aren't any news stories with vulgar headlines about modern-day vampires. Nor are there people being meaninglessly murdered by them.
ともかくもうあんなふざけた事件は起きないし、犠牲者も出ないってこと。街は元に戻ったんだよ。
しかし犠牲者は出ると思うぜ遠野。
出ないよ。なんで断言できるんだよ、有彦。
だっておい、今朝で9人目の死体が発見されたって今ニュースで流れてる。
Ariko showed me the screen of his phone. I can't believe my eyes. It's just as he said, there, on a news aggregator website, under a heading consisting of a bird's eye view of the plaza north of Soya Station, is new information regarding the vampire serial killing.
マジかよ。ここいつも行ってる映画館の裏じゃねえか。
待て、もう一度よく見せてくれ。
I borrowed the phone from Enrico. This isn't some troll spreading misinformation, nor is sustained speculation. The screen clearly shows an official statement from the police, announcing that the serial killer ninth victim was discovered last night.
そんな。
I'm at a loss for words. Love is dead. I killed him with my own two hands. So then why are corpses with their blood-sucked eyes still appearing?
しかし現代の吸血鬼か。相手が美人のお姉さんなら座れちゃってもいいんだがね。
美人の吸血鬼。
My spine freezes a Hariko casual remark. I wouldn't mind having my blood sucked so long as the vampire was a hot babe. I can take these playful words as a mere joke.
事件はまだ終わっていない。
The appearance of new victims prove that the vampire is still alive and well. A simple process of elimination is all that's in it. Love is gone. That means the only other remaining vampire is Arguedo. With classes over, the school day has come to a close. Yet, here am I wondering where the time went. I was so caught up in all the dark thoughts swirling around my head that I've only now noticed the fact I'm alone in the classroom.
通り魔殺人はまだ続いている。
Ordinarily, it would be obvious what it means. But I recall her saying something. I'll never kill a human being. I can bring myself to believe she was lying.
ニュースが間違いなのか、それとも。
The only one who knows for sure is Arcuit herself. If you can track her down and see her once more, I'm sure everything will be cleared up. But even I don't understand why I want to. Those killings are no longer any of my concern. My life returned to normal the moment I settled the score with Love. I fulfilled my duty, I must have. That's why there is no reason to go out on my way to set a foot into such an abnormal world. I should just carry on as normal, pretend nothing happened, and go home without thinking anymore about this. Giving up and going home. As choices go, that's definitely the runner-up. But that's because a long time ago, someone told me the number one thing to do in a situation like this.
どんな人間だって人生ってのは落とし穴だらけなのよ。君はそれを何とかできる力があるんだから、もっとちゃんとしなさい。
そうだ。何もしないって選択だけはしちゃいけない。
Those words saved me. I live my life by those words. That's why I can just stand up and turn a blind eye. This case is far from over. Having already gotten mixed up eaten in once, it seems I'm now fated to see this troublesome matter all the way through to the bitter end. I leave the school grounds. I don't have much of a lead, but I do still have the apartment key she entrusted me with. If I head there first and see what I can find.
いないか。
The apartment is just as I remember it, but Arquid is nowhere to be found. She's not here. I can at least sense a trace of her presence in this room. I feel a wave of relief pass over me at this assurance that she hasn't vanished into the thin air.
いいさ。そう簡単に捕まえられるなんて思ってない。とにかく、今は行動をあるのみだ。
I could wait here, but there is no guarantee she's coming back. I have no choice but to go out into the city and search for her at random, just like the time I first met her. As the sun set, the city donned its evening visage. I searched all over the most likely areas, but found neither hide nor hair or work with.
どうでもいい時はひょこひょこ歩いてたくせに、どうしてこういう時に見つからないんだあいつは。
What shall I do? The night had just begun. I should. Never gonna give you up. I'll keep searching the city. It's how we first met, after all. A chance encounter. Our relationship isn't so straightforward as to have us design my meetup location. And if I thought I can rely on chance, then I'll just have to put my own legs and intuition to work and seek out what white figure hovers.
そうだよな。人に会いに行くっていうのはそういうことだ。携帯に頼りすぎだった。
It's how it was back before mobile phone became so widespread. Even if you couldn't find each other where you planned to meet up, if you consider the other person's lifestyle and thought patterns, you could seek them out using your wits alone. It's like a sixth sense, an innate human ability that we just make for granted. Even in this day and age, reliant as we are on our cell phones, there is nothing we can do if we set our minds to it. For I can only cover so much ground. The residential district of the business district, or the business district. I wonder which will be better of focusing on.
よし。
After a brief moment of thought, I settled on the business district. In addition to patrolling between the north and the south side of Soja Station, I extend my route toward the side of the city. No matter how thick the crowds may be, if she's still in the city, if a retreating figure is still somewhere in the crowd, I absolutely will not let it slip away.
Yeah, ないわ。
Six cents, my arse. Maybe she'll be right around the corner. This time, she's definitely in front of the station. All my hunches and hopes inevitably ended in disappointment. I can't remember the last time I went on such a refreshing fool's errand. I might even go so far as to say this is a first. I suppose the reason for that is because I never knew when my anemia might flare up. I've always been careful to avoid meaningless exertion as best as I could. So then, why did I choose to do something like this? To wear off after her, on the back of nothing more substantial than thoughts that maybe there is a chance? Or what if I can find her?
でも夜はこれからが本番だし、あともうちょっとだけ探索を。
I received a message on my phone. Who could it be? Ariko? I take out my phone to check.
四季さ 急いでお屋敷に帰ってきてくださいますか？なぜかというと、突然のお客様がいらっしゃいまして。とても素敵な四季さんのガールフレンドを名乗る外国人の女性と、朝の一件だけでなく、四季様がお帰りにならないことに不機嫌だった明葉様とかけます。その心は？
It's a cryptic email from Koaku-san.
は？
My mind goes blank. Does this mean that Darkweed is at the Tono mansion at this very moment? I can easily see this going horribly wrong, but my brain refuses to even comprehend the possible ramifications. I was naive. I truly was. Why on earth did I think that Darkweed's action will obey any kind of common sense?
にしても意味不明すぎるだろう。
Sprint from the mansion with all the energy I can muster. It's terrifying to imagine what Darkweed might be saying right now. The only thing worse will be what's going through Akia's mind as she listens to her. If I never start to think about that, I will lose the will to live. Nice, I beat my personal best. I made it all the way up to the Gruel Hill. I arrived at the Tono residence out of breath. However,
極利。
my breathing, lagged from sprinting here at full speed, calms down. My heaving shoulders come to a standstill. Little wonder the mansion exudes the same heavy sense of dread you feel during the opening scene of a horror movie. Or rather,
まあ、ちょうどいいところに。覚悟はできていますね、兄さん。
hold on. What is always this easy for human to pursue us into willing accepting their own death? However, there is no path of escape for an older brother. If I falter here, the situation will only continue to get worse. Be strong, Shinji. Shichi. I straighten my resolve and rush headlong into the lion's den.
ようやくお帰りになったようですね。あと1分遅かったのなら、どうなっていたかわからなかったところです。
あ、やっと帰ってきたな、こいつめ。妹さんばかりか私まで待たせるとか、やっぱり普段から横暴なのね。
Both of them are looking at me, but their expressions are like night and day. This feeling, I know this feeling. This sort of thing that shows up a lot in films. The suffocating, heart-rending, desperation of a soldier with a gun to the back of their head being told to beg for their life. Don't exaggerate. I don't think I'm going to be able to talk my way out of this one. All the things that could have happened, Arquid and Akia have come to face. Arquid standing there placidly, while Akia sits on the sofa looking similarly composed. But under the surface, while Arquid's calm demeanor is just another consequence of being airhead, Akia seems to have winner over her obvious hostility towards Arquid. Akia glances towards me.
どうしたんですか、兄さん。そんなところに立っていないで、どうぞこちらに来て座ってください。
Absolutely not. I have the feeling that I'll end up with a knife stuck in the second I get within reach in the sofa. There is no way I'm going near it.
ここでいいです。それよりアキハ、こいつはだな、
I do explain this to her. I can just pass her off as a classmate, and I get the feeling that saying I met her on the street would only make things worse.
その、何ですか？
Akia pierces me with her unforgiving gaze. Fine, we're probably past the point where anything I can say can make a difference. But what if I want to make sure nobody gets hurt? And, of course, that my own peace isn't threatened. I'm not just about to come up with some kind of explanation. I got to come up with an explanation, but before I get to that, Alted what pretends to be this vampire, happily standing there with a grin on her face, as far this is all no concern of hers, managed to make her way into the mansion in the first place. I find it pretty hard to believe that Akia will invite a stranger into the living room.
その前にいいかな。こいつ、なんて言ってやってきたの？
Arquid tilts her head, perplexed.
兄さんのご友人ではないんですか？この方はそう自称しましたが。
ああ、うん。友人といえば友人。
そうですか。私にも紹介していただけると嬉しいわ。兄さんのご友人でしたら、無下にお帰りいただくわけにはいきませんし。
それはですね、アキハさん。
Her words devolve into a mumble.
ふん、友人ねえ。ふん。
Perhaps having grown tired of being ignored, Arquid forced her away into the sibling squabble Akia and I are having.
あんなひどいことしておいて、そういうこと言うんだ。私、まだ体が痛いんだけど。
What? I feel faint. So this is what the people mean by vertigo. Feeling of drunkenness, of being forcibly torn adrift from reality. I can bear it.
それはどういった意味でしょうか？私の兄が身体面、
あるいは精神面においてあなたに危害を加えたとでも？失礼ですが、ご自分がどれほど信憑性のない発言をしているか理解していますか？
ええ、バッチリね。でも安心して、そんなのもう気にしていないから。ちゃんと体で返してもらったし。
Arcade?
なのでどうぞお構いなく。私は四季を誘いに来ただけだもの。すぐに出かけるわね。そうでしょ四季。
This is bad. If I let her keep talking, it will be the end of me.
いやー、あははあははは。
ちょっと四季、急に何するのよ。
I can afford to sit here and listen to their complaints. I rush out of the living room, dragging Arquid along after me, leaving a dumbfounded Akia in my wake. Isu is waiting in the lobby. I wonder what's going on through her mind as she watches me rushing by with Arquid in tow. Thinking about it makes me feel like a pit is opening in my stomach, so I'll just put it up on my mind for the time being.
お出かけですか、四季様？
不本意ながらすっごく申し訳ないんだけど、玄関の鍵は開けておいてほしい。
はい、かしこまりました。どうぞ、大変お気をつけて。
I see Isu bows courteously. I sprint past her and out of the mansion, making my escape.
痛いなあ。いきなり外に連れ出すなんて四季って常識ないんじゃない？
This has to be the last self-aware complaint of all time.
お前こそ何のつもりだよ。真正面からうちの屋敷に来るなんて正気じゃないぞ。もしかして俺の生活をぶっ壊すつもりなのか、このバカ女。
バカ女って、あなた私をバカにしてるの？
バカをバカって言ってんだから、それ以外何があるって言うんだバカ。反論があるなら聞いてやるから言ってみろ。
あ、うん？
I've hit my boiling point. I've never been in such an inexplicable predicament before, but I'm going to be able to calm down without giving her a piece of my mind.
何よ。私は四季に会いに来ただけじゃない。そんなに怒られるようなことしてないと思うけど。
会いに来ただけって、アルクエイド、お前本気で言ってるのか？
そうだけど何よ。何の問題もないからね。魔眼も使ってないし、極めて人間的なアプローチしたんだし。四季の妹さんにだって四季の目のことも私が吸血鬼であることもちゃんと黙っててあげたんだから。
そこは言わなくてもわかる。そっちの話に関しちゃ常識ありそうだからな、お前。
わかんないな。それじゃあなんでそんなに怒ってるのよ、あなたは。
そっちがあんまりにも考えなしだからだよ。この際だからはっきり言っておくぞ。周囲の目を考える、自分の特徴を自覚する。頼むからもうちょっとおとなしめに行動すること。お前はいるだけで目立つんだから。
Phew. I feel refreshed now I've gotten everything on my chest. Arquid, on the contrary, looks like she has a lot she wants to say. Like an indignant cat, she glared at me with a sullen scowl on her face.
何よ、勝手なことばっかり言って。だいたいいるだけで目立つってどうしてよ。私、外見は人間と変わらないでしょ。
美人はいるだけで目立つんだよ。人間であるかどうかなんて関係ない。
I answered clearly. Perhaps because my reply left little room for debate, Arquid seems to have accepted it without a fuss.
まあこっちも言い過ぎた。こういう修羅場は初めてだったから気が動転してたんだ。
別にいいよ。悪かったのは私の方みたいだし。
Arquid nods rather obediently. Now that's all said and done, I start to feel a little guilty about thinking she has some sinister ulterior motive.
で、どうしてうちに来たりしたんだ。
Okay, now let's hear about the sinister motive.
いや、俺もお前に話があったから渡りに船だけど。
そうなの？私は単に式はどうしてるのかなって様子を見に来ただけなんだけど。
そうか、興味本位か。次は木の陰にでも隠れてこっそり見に来てくれ。できるだけ誰にも見つからないように。できれば俺にも見つからないように。
I feel somewhat tired of all of a sudden. Well, this isn't the first time I have been jerked around as a result of her whims. At least she didn't let slip anything about the situation of Tuakia. I suppose in her own way, she's doing the best she can to cause any problems for me.
ともかくだ。真剣に話したいことがある。ここじゃ落ち着かないから場所を変えたいんだけど、いいか？
いいけど、話って何よ。
すぐにわかる。そうだな。そろそろ人気もなくなるし、公園あたりがいいかもしれない。
I start walking, telling her to follow me. Tilting her head to the side, Arquid obediently falls in the line behind me.
「話って何なの、式？」
吸血鬼のこと。お前、前に言ったよな。巷を騒がしている通り魔殺人は吸血鬼の仕業だって。
Arquid nods affirmatively.
それじゃあ、今朝のニュースで新しい犠牲者が出たっていうのは知ってるか？昨日の夜に通り魔に殺されて血を抜かれたらしいんだけど。
Arquid narrows her eyes. The air suddenly feels very tense. as it as if the solid ground I thought I had been walking on was actually not but a thin layer of ice. And now one wrong move could prove fatal.
ふんそれで
それでってお前
I swallowed nervously. Arquette looked straight at me, pinning me down with her gaze. It's the sort of stare that makes me feel as like she will swoop down on me if I so much as twitch.
おかしいじゃないか、アルクエイド。ブローブは死んだ。なのに、どうしてまだ吸血鬼騒ぎが起こる？まさかとは思うけど、あれはお前が。
If that blood is in your hands, then I...
はあもうそんなわけないでしょ。それは私じゃなくて他の吸血鬼の仕業よ。
Arquette's immediate and somehow exasperated response quickly dispelled the tension that had settled over us. I held back the inexplicable sense of joy welling up in my chest. It's too soon to be relieved. While I'm glad to hear it was another vampire's doing, there is still something that doesn't add up.
他の吸血鬼の仕業って、そう次から次へと吸血鬼が出てくるのか？ブローブの後にすぐ新しい吸血鬼がやってきた。
まさかあの事件は初めから一人の吸血鬼の仕業よ。この町を食い物にする新しい吸血鬼なんてやってこないし、ブローブだってあの事件には全く関係ないわ。
You're saying Vlov was totally unrelated?
関係ないって、それどういう意味だよ。
言った通りの意味だけど、もう仕切って切れるようでどこか抜けてるのね。いい？確かにブローブは吸血鬼だったけど、あいつは人の血を吸っていた？
He did?
吸っていたかって当然だろ。あいつはあんなに人間を片っ端から燃やして。
Oh, I guess it now. Why did it spot such an obvious discrepancy? All of the victims of the serial killer were discovered without injuries to their bodies, aside of the fact that their blood was drained. But that's not what blood will do. That guy burned a corpse to a crisp. It's true that he did suck blood, but it was the main way he killed people. In fact, the people who die at the hotel are currently being treated as casualty of a conflagration, not as a victim in a murder case. Which means that Vlava has absolutely no connection to the serial killing that have been happening in this city.
待ってくれ。じゃあ吸血殺人事件は何なんだ？一体どこの誰があんな真似をしてやがる？
だからあの事件はブローブとは別の吸血鬼の仕業なの。私はその吸血鬼を殺すためにこの町にやってきた。 ローブが来た理由はちょっとあやふやになってきたわね。てっきり私を追いかけてきた一人かと思ったけど、ブローブにはそれだけの理性、使徒社会における協調性はなかったみたいだし。ま、そのあたりはもういっか。ブローブは死んだんだし。とにかくブローブとこの町に救っている吸血鬼は別物よ。ブローブは正真正銘無関係の第三者。私、標的がブローブだなんて言わなかったでしょ。ブローブにとっての標的は私だったけど、私にとっての標的はこの町で通り魔と言われている吸血鬼だけよ。シキ、まさかとは思うけど、ものすごく単純な勘違いしてたとか。
We all did. I gasped in shock. Unfortunately, she's right on the money. Because she said that killing vampire was her objective. I immediately jumped to the wrong conclusion and assumed that she came here to take down Love.
それじゃあ何か、あの夜ブローブと殺し合ったのは無意味なことだったっていうのか。
無意味じゃないわ。シキは私の代わりに戦ってくれたんじゃない。ま、シキさえ私を殺さなかったらその必要もなかったでしょうけど。
The sweat drains from my body, and I feel like I'm about to fall to my knees. The battle that night was all for nothing. Well, no, not really. Even though we killed Love, it didn't solve anything. Partially. He was still a vampire on a rampage. There is still a vampire in the city. For a brief moment, I found myself blaming Arquid. This isn't good. My mind turns with a mixture of despondency and self-loathing.
悪い。しつこいけど、最後に確認させてくれ。ブローブは吸血鬼殺人には関係なくて、ここ1ヶ月街を騒がしているのは別の吸血鬼ってことだな。
うん、そういうこと。でもこれは私が済ませる問題だから、シキは気にしないでいいよ。そんなことよりね
え。Arquid looks up at me with a worryingly playful expression.
なんだよ。言っておくけど、ものすごく余裕がないぞ、俺。
I can't get a handle on my feelings. If she says anything weird now, I feel like my legs will simply give away.
ちょっとした疑問よ。二人でブローブを倒した時のこと。ねえ、なんで3分だったの？
なんでって何が？
シキ、3分しか時間はないって言ってたじゃない。どうして3分なのか全然わからなくて。
あのな、言っただろ。あそこは海の底みたいなものだって。だから3分しか無理だって言ったんだ。
海の底だと3分なの？
Thank goodness. If I still had the energy left, I'm sure my retort would have been instantaneous.
まあそうだよ。人間はお前みたいなのと違って、それぐらいしか水に潜っていられないの。
何よ、私だってちょっとは寒かったわ。海の底だって何時間も潜ってたら退屈だし。
A bit chilly, you say? It was so bad I thought I was going to die.
下を向いてどうしたの？
いや、ちょっとめまいがして。気にしなくていや、気にしてくれ。実際海に潜ったら3分だって怪しいからな。人間はか弱いんだから、頑丈なお前と一緒にするな。吸血鬼は吸血鬼同士、我慢比べでもやっててくれ。
At my wit's end, I shoo Arquid away with my hand.
ま、今さら言っても始まらないか。お前たちが化け物じみてるのは身に染みてるし。いえ、ブローブのことは俺がバカだった。それよりアルクエド。
I managed to get my feeling under control. I raised my head to resume the conversation, but what is this face that she's making?
アルクエド。
何よ、四季の意地悪。どうせ私は人間じゃないですよーだ。
Pouting, Arquid turns away and begins to walk at a brisk pace.
おい、ちょっと待て。どこ行く気だよ。
人間な四季には関係ない。ついてこないでよね。
Arquid must really be bad. Be mad. Arquid must really be bad. Be mad. I can't believe her. Where the hell does she think she's going? Maybe I touched a nerve. In retrospect, everything was a bit too cruel.
いや、でも、そんな悪口言ってないぞ。
I didn't, right? Though, seeing how upset she is, I feel like I'm the one at fault. Actually, it's completely my fault. I am the worst.
ああ、もう、悪かった。今のは俺が悪かった。だから待て、止まれってば。
Flustered, but she's after her white back. I'm definitely not doing this because I feel guilty about making her upset. There's just something important we still need to discuss. Arquid cuts through the city night of alive. An unwavering white silhouette with fluttering gold hair. The figure is the same one I saw when I first laid eyes on her. But perhaps it's closer to how she looked as she faced down love standing tall amidst the crumbling wreckage. The conflict feeling I will be wrestling with up until now vanished. There is no doubt in my mind now. The figure ahead of me is the platonic ideal of a huntress.
アルクエイド
Without so much as a glance at me, Arquid just keeps walking.
話を聞けってどこに行くつもりだよ
The woman in white does not stop. It would be pathetic if I were to give up on trying to get thoughts over after coming this far. It would be pathetic, but for now, I'll just hold my tongue and follow after her. Our wordless march continues, punctuated only by the sound of our footsteps. Until suddenly, Arquid abruptly stopped in her tracks and glanced over her shoulder at me.
ついてこないで。あなたみたいな普通の人間にいられると迷惑だってわからない？
人間で悪かったな何をしているのか教えてくれたら帰るよ
式には関係ないからほっといて。
Arquid faced towards and resumed walking in a huff. Great. Looks I am in for a more taciturn prowling around the city. We left the city downtown area behind us, and are approaching a desert railway underpass when Arquid stopped dead in her track.
見つけた。
Arquid's voice was cold, like it belonged to a completely different person. A shiver runs down my spine. All I can see from back is her posture, but even that is enough for me to sense the scale of the murderous aura that now envelops her.
何を
I fall silent before I can finish asking what she intended to. I can tell even without hearing her say it out loud. What emanates from Arquid right now is an unmistakable murderous intent.
おい何考えてるんだお前
Arquid doesn't respond. Her gaze is trained on an average-looking man in a business suit as he walks along.
式、メガネを外してあの人間を見てみなさい。
あの人間って前にいるあの男
早く。私が何をしているか知りたいのなら質問は後よ。
あんまり街中で見たくはないんだけど
I take off my glasses. A light headache pulses in my temple. In exchange for that pain, I faintly see the lines of the walls and the ground.
確認しておくけど、 あなたの線は生物の方がはっきり見える？
ああ、その方がより確かに見える。
でしょうね。あなたは生物だから鉱物の死を理解できない。形の上の摩耗というカテゴリーの結果は見えても、鉱物たちにとっての終わりは見えない。そのためには彼らと同じ視点、同じ価値観を得なくてはいけない。死を見るためには命を理解しないといけないから。それじゃあついでに聞くけど、今の式から見てあの人間はどんな感じ？
I don't think there is anything particularly odd. I reflexively take a step back. What the hell is that? It's true that any human would have those lines. Except normally, there are few enough that you can easily count them, even if they slowly shift like glowing geometric patterns. But this, what the hell is this? The lines, is across the entirety of his body. They have smeared themselves across him from head to foot, making it look as though all his veins and arteries have floated off the surface. I can even make out what the man looks like underneath them all. I feel like throwing up. That thing goes against everything I know. It isn't a man with lines of death, but lines of death that have taken off the appearance of a man.
式にはどう見える？私としては式には普通の人間に見えていてほしいんだけど。
I can even master a response to Arkwit's words. Right now, he's taking all I've got just to stop myself from throwing up.
そう。残念ね。式はあれにも死を見てしまっているなんて。
あ、なんか普通とは違う。けど線は見えてる。
やっぱり死者さえ殺せるのね、あなたは。命があるなしの問題さえ無関係。動いているもの、破壊できるものなら例外なく停止させる。何よ、本当の化け物はあなたの方じゃない。シキが見ている通り、あれはもう人間とは呼べないわ。死という負債を他人の血でごまかし続ける吸血鬼だから。
Arkwit sets off at a brisk gait. She makes a beeline for the ordinary looking man.
おい、歩くよ。
シキはそこにいて。
The man must have noticed Arkwit coming for him, because in the blink of an eye he vanished from the field of view. So, rather than simply vanishing, it'd be more accurate to say that he skittered away at superhuman speed. The man flees into the darkness of the underpass, as if he's trying to hide in the shadows. Arkwit is nowhere to be seen. She too has stepped out from under the illumination, of the rustic street lamps, and into the darkness so deep as to be impenetrable to the human eye. The pounding of my heart sounds uncomfortably close. The night is still young. The headlights of a passing car. The sound of a train thundering overhead. Despite being at the center of this cacophony, I cannot feel the presence of a single person other than myself. My glasses. I need to put my glasses back on, and quickly. If I don't, I'll end up seeing something unpleasant. I'll end up staring straight into the abyss, one so deep as to make everything I've seen up to this point pale in comparison. But my body won't move. My unfettered eyes, able to perceive the thunderbird nature of this rundown world, are drawn as though entranced to the dark void the arc would vanish into, and I gaze, transfixed, across the threshold of darkness. Suddenly, silence falls. From the sound of the wind, to the scent of the ground, everything abruptly freezes in place. The world beneath the moon reaches absolute zero. From somewhere near the limit of my perception, there emanates an unfamiliar sound. There is no way I shall be able to see it. There is no way that the sound shall be able to reach me. And yet I saw it. The sound of death clashing against death. There is no question that these eyes could discern it. My vision is stained crimson. Why? Why can this eye perceive the death of something that I shouldn't even be able to see? My glasses. If I don't put on my glasses, I'm going to lose my mind. Fighting back the urge to vomit is welling up in my throat. I put my glasses back on with trembling hands. Light and sound return. Getting a firm grip on myself, I take a good look at my surrounding and see nothing but an ordinary underpass. There is nobody around, and there aren't many cars, but it is still a wholly unremarkable nighttime scene in the city. Here, in the center of human civilization, there is no danger, There cannot be any danger. My breathing is ragged. Even though I am wearing my glasses, there are still after images of death from early lingering in the corner of my eyes. It gives me the creeps.
アルクエイド。
With faltering footsteps, Arquid emerged from the darkness, her breathing even more labored than my own now.
四季そっかまだ残ってたんだ
It was a tough fight. A seemingly embarrassed look on her face, she hurries past me, lurking as she does so. Her gait is feeble, like that of an invalid. Truth be told, my own nervousness still has yet to be subside. But with Arquid visibly in pain, right in front of me, all other thoughts are pushed aside.
待てよ。一体どうしたんだお前。
I grab hold of Arquid's shoulder as she attempts to leave. With vacant eyes, she lovely turns to look at me.
大丈夫よ少し疲れただけだから構わないで式には全然関係がないんだから
バカ。疲れているなら休め。変に汗かいてるし、どう見ても重傷だぞ。
Finding as I fight to control my breathing, I grab hold on her arms.
何よそういう式だって今にも倒れそうな顔してる
俺のはただの貧血。いつものことだ。人を気にしてる余裕があるなら自分の体も気遣えよ。
いいのよどうせ気遣っても無駄なんだから
Arquid's breathing is so faint that my heart aches for her.
まさかお前あの時の傷。
I couldn't bring myself to finish asking whether it had healed yet. I mean, she got that wound protecting me after all. Her head still hung low. Arquid doesn't answer. The silence is not denial, but confirmation, I think.
もう何度言わせるんだこのバカ。そんな体でおとなしくできないのか。
おとなしくしてるつもりなんだけどな
全然してない。人間離れしてるからって治りきってないのに出歩くやつがいるか。
Unless I am genuinely angry, I come to a realization. I can leave her be. She truly is an unbelievable pain in the ass. But at the end of the day, I just can't leave her alone.
お前本当に何してんだよ。ほら黙ってないで答えろ。話してくれるまでお前から離れないからな。
I grasp both of her white shoulders. Arquid still doesn't look up, but I think I can make out a faint nod.
もう割としつこいのね あなたって。いいわ。それじゃあ場所を変えましょう。どのみちさっきのも外れだったみたいだし。
Arcade brushes off my arm. It does an about face. It seems that their destination is not the downtown area, but the deserted park. We have returned to the park. Arcade must have recuperated while we walked, and she's now back to her usual self.
あっさり元に戻ってるし、もしかしてさっきは油断して傷を負ったとかいうオチじゃないだろうな。
違うよ。傷が治りかけなのは本当だってば。
治りかけなのは本当だ。本当じゃないことも言ったってことだよな。
何その言い方、すっごくいやらしいんですけど。
お前の言動が怪しすぎるんだよ。文句があるならさっき何をしてたのか話してみろ。大方予想はついてるけど、何をあんな痛がってたんだ。
さて、それじゃあ式のお望み通り、私が何をしていたかを話してあげましょう。
What a pleasant way to change the subject. Well, this is what I really wanted to know about anyway. I'll circle back on her physical condition later.
じゃあ確認からさせてくれ。さっきのやつは吸血鬼の手足になってる死者だな。あれの大元がお前の本当の敵？
なんと、今度は話が早いのね、式。
そいつはどうも。俺だって少しは頭は回るからね。さっきの話で大体の事情は飲み込めている。
うん、良きかな良きかな。式の可愛い勘違いはブローブのことだけってことね。
可愛いって言うな。仕方ないだろ。あの時は自分のことだけで手一杯だったんだから。
ふん、自分のことだけで手一杯ね。ま、そういうことにしておいてあげましょう。
Seemingly amused, Paquid twirls around, appears my face. It makes me a little uncomfortable.
いいから話。さっきの男はもうとっくに死んでいたんだな。
そうよ。あれはあいつのしもべだから始末しただけ。下級の使者だったけど、それでも放っておくと人間を殺して力を蓄えられてしまうから。シキ、ホテルで話した吸血鬼の話、覚えてる？
I have memorized it. Of course, I'm not back. The ecology of vampires. Suzerains. Now they make use of their minions. Another suzerain? Those vampires grow their class by hunting humans, killing them, and then turning them into underlings known as the dead. That done, They conceal themselves and leave the work of collecting blood of their underlings. I remember Arquid referring to them as suzerains, or the traditional type. A vampire that fit the stereotype of being mortal and weak to the sunlight.
それはもう教えてもらった。じゃあお前の追っている敵とやらが殺人事件の吸血鬼で間違いないんだな。
ええ、間違いないわ。たとえあいつが手を下したのは最初の一人だけだとしても、そこから発生した死者たちの殺人は全部あいつの成果になる。だから
さっきみたいに街を歩き回って吸血鬼のしもべを探していた。そうすれば親の居場所がわかるのか。
強く親に結びついたしもべならね。けど今のところ外ればっかり。棺、敵の潜伏場所が見つからないのはそれだけ多くの死者を使っているからよ。あいつが自分の手を汚すのは数回だけ。あとは死者にした人間を操って自分は眠っているだけで領地を広げていく。この町の犠牲者は100人を超えている。あなたたちが騒いでいる犠牲者なんて人知れずいなくなった人間の一部分に過ぎないわ。
And nobody reported the missing of the others. Yet again, I heard something that makes my blood run cold. 2 days ago, I thought love was the only responsible. Because of that, I channeled this feeling toward the sole aim of killing him. In doing so, I was able to maintain my spiritual equilibrium. But I no longer can. This tragedy is still ongoing. Over 100 victims, over 100 people attacked, drained of their blood, and finally killed by those things that were once their fellow humans. Those victims that have their blood sucked and become new monsters in turn. Ambulant corpses, just like the massive line from earlier, that go on the prowl to the city. 3 days ago, I remember all the people staying at the hotel whose lives were extinguished. Even though I was there, I didn't witness this scene unfolding entirely. As a result, I could only imagine it in words. I could visually feel the extent of the horrifying violence that had taken place. The same is true now. Even though I had just been told a vampire that sucked the blood of a human is doubly expanded the dominion in this city, is not enough to provoke any emotion in me. However, what if, without meaning, without warning, someone close to me was killed like that? How would I feel then? Foreshadowing much? Imagine it for a single moment, realizing the immortality behind such a thought. I picture Hakia's body, suck of his blood, and discarded like so much garbage. He's probably gonna be his friend. The one is in never attend the classes. The feeling of vertigo as though my brain were being slowly whittled away, gives way to exhaustion. My heart, which ought to have been burning with indignation, is strangely calm. I tell myself that now is the time to think, not to tremble. I am cognizant of the fact that under these circumstances, such an event could still happen at any time. I can beat myself up over my stupidity for not realizing we are still in danger some other time.
やっぱり怒ったわね、シキ。私があなたに話したくなかったのは、これは捕食される側、人間にとってどしがたいものだからよ。シキにしてみれば、吸血鬼の行為は認められないものでしょうから。
Of course it is. I couldn't define for you the border between good and evil, or right and wrong. But even so, I can say with certainty that I feel this is something I cannot abide. Happy people whose face I don't know have lived their lives and accumulated a past, and in proportion to that past, they each still have some amount of future remaining to them. Even if that future has nothing to do with me, or is something I can even begin to comprehend, I can cast it aside so easily. I wouldn't want to be killed for sport like that either. Such a death would be far too frustrating. Such a death would be far too lamentable, if you can call it death. Such a death would be fair, far too meaningless.
でも安心していいよ、シキ。吸血鬼たちの天敵はこの国にはいないみたいだけど、今は私がちゃんといるんだから。言ったでしょ、私の目的は町を犯している吸血鬼を退治することだって。
I don't know what happened to their dispassionate demeanor from earlier, but Arquid has done a complete 180 in now quite cheaper. And is now quite cheaper. I have to say, her words are reassuring. I'm aware how amazing she is, and the length she'll go to in order to protect human life. She defended the citadel against bluffs below and cold, with no regard for her own safety. But there is something that just doesn't make sense to me about that. Right up until we fought Bluff, I harbored doubts about her as any human would.
それがわからない。アルクエイドだって吸血鬼なんだろ。どうしてそんな人間の味方みたいなことをするんだよ。
私、別に人間の味方をしているわけじゃないよ。それ以外にやることがないからやってるだけだもの。
She has nothing better to do?
ま、そんなことをやっているから狙われるんでしょうけど、そこはそれ、必要経費みたいなものかしら。
いや、お前の言いたいことはまるでわからないけど、その例えだけは間違ってるぞ、きっと。
まあまあ、細かいことは気にしないで。そんな引く手あまたヘイトいっぱいな私だったけど、シキがブローブを倒してくれたでしょ。これで障害は何もなくなったわ。あとはこの町に潜んでいる敵を見つけてなんとか始末してみせるから。シキは今まで通り普通の生活に戻って私たちなんかに関わらなくていいんだよ。
ああ、うん。そりゃ嬉しいけど。
But are you really going to be okay on your own? These words surface in my mind, but I shake my head to drive them off. What's wrong with me? Why do I feel so guilty about making her take on such a dangerous task alone?
シキ、何よ、また難しい顔しちゃって。シキの聞きたい話ってこれで終わりでしょ。他には何もないと思うけど。
You're wrong. There are still a ton of things I want to ask you, but more importantly,
バカ。そりゃ難しい顔ぐらいする。これは俺たちが住んでいる町の問題なんだから。
だから気にしなくていいんだって。これからは毎日街を見て回って、もうこれ以上犠牲者は出さないようにするし。それともそんなに私の性能を信用できない？
I'll admit that I don't really want to get involved, but I can't ignore what she's just said. I'm the one who lives here, so I should be the one stepping up to say that I'll protect the city, not Arquid.
アルクエイド、お前の言う敵は強いのか？あのブローブよりもっと。
まさかブローブはああ見えてもその一人よ。この町に救った吸血鬼はブローブより純度は落ちるわ。
そうか。ならお前がやられることはないんだな。
断言はできないわね。ちょっと前までの私なら問題なかったと思うけど、今の私は病み上がりだもの。敵の方が力をつけている可能性が高いわ。
Wait, hold up. I was just nodding along without really listening. Arquid is recuperating?
いやいや、風邪でもひいたのかお前。
Facepalm.
というか吸血鬼って風邪ひくのか？
ええ、とんでもなく野蛮な通り魔を一つね。塔の式っていう名前の悪質なウイルスなんだけど、ご存知かしら？
I usually hate when she constantly rubs it on her face, but totally she now deserves it. She called for it. He called for it.
ああ、いや、それはごめんなさい。
More like she asked for it. I just stirred up a hornet nest.
冗談よ。式の傷はもう治ってるわ。ただちょっと治すのに想定以上の力を使って疲れてるだけ。 痛いのはブローブから受けた傷の方。こっちはまだ外を塞いでいるだけだから。
Arquette gently caressed her abdomen. That wound too, huh? The only reason she got the injury is because she was protecting me. I'm speechless. I'm the root cause of everything that's ailing Arquette. So how can she continue to smile so unguardedly at me without so much as a trace of reproach?
やめろよ。せめて傷が治るまでどこかで休んでればいいじゃないか。今さら1日や2日休んだって変わらないだろう。
ダメよ。ブローブと戦ったことで敵も私が来たことに気づいているはずだもの。休んだりしたらそれこそ私が弱っていると知らせるようなものだわ。
だからって今夜みたいな真似を続けていくのか。
ええ、敵の居場所がわからない以上、あいつに血を送っている死者を片っ端から潰していくしかない。そうして血の供給源を断てば本体が直に血を吸いに現れる。
それがもし明日だったらどうするんだ。弱っているのを隠したところでそんな体じゃ逆に殺されるようなものなんだろう。なら
I start to beg her not to push herself, but trail off and look down at the ground. Just as Arquette said, if she were to reveal how weak she is, then the enemy will likely take the opportunity to go in for the kill. And above all, I realized something during those 2 days. When it comes to battle, Arquette is strictly no nonsense. She doesn't fight with an eye towards minimizing her own injuries. The sole focus of her strategy is ensuring that her opponent is defeated. Arquette prioritizes achieving her goal above all else. She isn't about to let herself to be talked out of it. Arquette will not stop. But if I let her go, I won't be able to talk to her like this anymore. She's so unafraid of her own death that it's driving me insane. So then why do I find myself picturing her smile? If only I hadn't seen that face. If only she acted more like a vampire, then maybe I never would have developed these feelings.
どうしたのシキ？体震わせちゃって、もしかしてトイレ？
お前ってやつはどうしてそう。
How can she be so reasonably calm about all this? I raise my head. Before me stands the figure of a woman in white. I can't just pretend that she never existed. I don't understand what this emotion is. All I know is that the 2 days I spent with Arquid are something I'll never forget. That's why the idea of parting way with her, there and now, and then spending tomorrow night wondering whether she's alive or dead, then the next night, and the next, forever regretting my decision, taking myself for being such a fool, will be unbearable.
勘弁してくれ。ただでさえ両目が壊れてるのに頭まで壊れかけてる。
I've already had my fill of vampires. I think back on the fight against love, the fear I felt back when while skirting the precipice of death is so burning to my mind, and simply thinking back on it sent a shiver down my spine. This time will be no different. It's no ordinary opponent. There is absolutely no need for me to get involved. Arquisha she said she will take care of it, so I should just leave it to her. Even though the reasoning makes total sense to me, I still can allow her to go alone.
ああ、もうどうかしちまったのか俺は。
I kick the ground. Whatever logic I come up with, however I try to persuade myself, is useless, and furious at my own stubbornness.
何？どうしたのシキ？いきなり怒り出しちゃって。
そりゃ怒りたくもなる。なんだって俺はあんな目にあったっていうのにこんなたわごとを口にしようとしているのかって。
I start to feel even dizzier after saying that. If I saw my idiotic self in the mirror right now, I would smash it without a second thought.
落ち着いて。普通じゃないわよあなた。
なあ、普通じゃないさ。普通じゃなかったらこんなこととても口にはできないだろう。
Cursing, I scratch my head in annoyance. I don't want to admit it, but I already made up my mind. Heck, I even went and said it out loud just then.
もう全然わかんない。ちゃんと説明しなさい。さっきからこんなことって何がこんなことだって言うの？
だからお前の体が治りきるまで手伝ってやるってそう言いたいんだよ俺は。
And I love you too. Darkly stares back at me, dumbfounded. As for me, I finally, or perhaps I barely, or rather, enough of that. I told her exactly what I wanted to say, and I've calmed down at last.
シキ、今の本当？
I groan. I still can't even believe it myself.
私ちょっと聞き損ねちゃった。お願いだからもう一度言って。
I groan even louder. But it's too late to regret it now. The moment I uttered those words, I lost every right I had to lie to myself.
私今のセリフもう一度聞きたい。
Say it, say it. Arquid's coaxing voice is little more than a whisper. Averting my gaze from her fluorescent smile, I do my best to try and speak it in an irritated voice.
だからアルケイドが弱ってるのは俺の責任だし、街にはびこってる化け物を放っておけないし、弱っているお前一人じゃ頼りないから、俺でよかったら手伝ってやるって言ったんだ。
シキ。
Arquid's eyes light up. She grabs my hand and shakes it up and down with glee.
まあ俺じゃ大した役には立たないだろうけど、いないよりはマシだろ。
シキが手伝ってくれるなら怖いものなんて何もないんだから。
Arquid still hasn't let me go of my hand. I'm afraid that sooner or later her brute strength will tear my head clean off. But even so, I have no desire to stop her. How do I put this? She really was smiling so exuberantly. That was enough, I felt. With some small amount of pride that my foolish decision was a mistake after all. A moment of respite. A moment of pure cuteness. By the time I finally release from Arquid's one-handed handshake, it's almost 9 o'clock. Just thinking about everything that happened since I got back in is enough to make my head hurt. But now that I've decided to help out, the night is still far from over. From here on, the vampire extermination begins in earnest.
それでこれからどうするんだ。やっぱり街を歩いて死者を探すのか。
そうね。この町にいる死者を全滅させれば親元の吸血鬼は出てこざるを得なくなるでしょうし、今はそれぐらいしか手はないけど。
Arquid gives me a look, as if asking whatever I'm really okay with it.
いいも何も俺はアルクエイドに付き合うだけだ。餅は餅屋って言うし、専門家に従うよ。
She's just standing there watching me, an outside's grin on her face.
なんだよ。おかしなこと言ったか俺。
シキ、やけに素直だなーって。
Maybe I should be a little more brusque with her from now on. I get the feeling that if I keep buttering her up like this, she'll ask me to do something outrageous again.
行くぞ。街を回ればいいんだろ。さっきの高架線下とかもう一度調べてみるか。
あの区域はもういいわ。 死者は互いに食い合わないよう、犠牲者の数を一区間に集中させないよう、それぞれ活動ルートを定めているの。一晩に食事をさせる死者の数は決まっている。今夜はさっきので打ち止めだと思うけど、せっかく式がいるんだし、もうちょっと探索してみましょうか。
互いに食い合わないようにか。本格的に統率されてるんだな。もっと無差別なものかと思った。
親元の吸血鬼にしてみれば、血液の採集は娯楽じゃなくて生存するための必要作業、仕事だもの。ルーチンワークを良しとするのよ。
貴重な労働力ってわけか。でもそれだと向こうも手を打ってこないか。アルクエイドが数を減らしているんだから、ここから先は増員させるか、あるいは死者を引っ込めて姿を隠すとか。
基本的には出し渋る方でしょうね。けど吸血鬼である以上、どうしても他者から血や精を搾取しないと生存していられない。親元は私に狙われていると分かっていても、最低限の食料を得るために死者を出すしかないってわけ。
I see. Arcus' modus operandi is to attack the enemy's supply lines. Working out where in the city the Tsar is sleeping will be far too difficult. So instead of searching for him, she planned to smoke him out. Cut off from their workers, and by extension the nourishment they need to keep on living, the Tsar will be eventually have no choice but to take action themselves. As soon as the enemy goes on the move, Arquid will be able to sense their presence. That's where the vampire slang comes in. Just like when we put our lives on the line to kill love, Ilfis the one responsible for this incident had on exterminated him.
状況は分かった。とにかく夜になったら街を歩き回ってまだ活動している死者を見つければいいんだな。
ええ。それでシキ、あなたにはメガネを外してついてきてほしいんだけど、いい？
メガネを外してってなんで？
その方が確実だから。私は人間と人間じゃないものの気配を感じ取れる。あなたは聖者と死者の違いが視覚情報として読み取れる。索敵方法は大いに越したことはないでしょ？
Yeah, but just ask me when you spot one. I understand what Arquid is getting at. I was the one that said we should cooperate, so it's not like I can refuse. But walking around without my glasses on is...
あなたの体に大きく負担をかけることになるでしょうね。でも、いい機会だからもう一度だけ確認したいの。式が大丈夫だと判断するのなら、メガネを外してついてきて。
Walking around the city without my glasses on, huh? In the 7 years since I've received these glasses, I have never once tried something like that. I mean, just seeing things with my glasses off is enough to give me a headache. It's easy to imagine what would happen to me if I were the then go wandering around the city without them. Even so, I'll be fine, sure. It's just a headache after all. It's nothing compared to the pain the Darkwood is dealing with right now.
いいよ。メガネを外してついていく。それで型がつくって言うんなら安いもんだ。
そうなら行きましょう。
I take a single deep breath, remove my glasses, and walk toward the city. Walking side by side, Arquida and I moved through the crowds. The last time I walked amidst a landscape these riddles with scribble was back when I was first hospitalized. I don't feel any dizziness so far. I guess simply looking around isn't enough to give me a headache. Though, the thin lines that are present on the buildings aren't the real issue. It's when I look at the lines on the people walking down the street that I start to feel ill. I just can't stop my thoughts from turning dark. It's not a thought that people covered in scribbles make me feel sick per se. What makes the bile rise in my throat is the fact they remind me how cheaply, how easily the life of a human being can be snuffed out. And I think I'm gonna stop for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good day or good night. Bye bye.